We doing a little bit of sawing, and we doing a little bit of jawing. Talk everything from sawmilling to what's going on in the world today. Start off, get me a little 6x6 action out of that, a little 2-inch slab. Hope y'all are doing extremely well today. Had a good weekend. I know I did. At least I think I did. Took the old kids to Disney World this past week here in Florida. Not my favorite spot, but the kids seem to enjoy it. The old house of the mouse, as they call it. We'll tell you, if you ever need to see what this world is turning to, you just take yourself to the old Disney World. Pretty wild place. Pretty wild place. Pretty crazy looking people. But everybody seems to have a good time. Tell you, times have gotten weird, everybody. Some good, some bad, everything from people's preferences to a little bit of technology action going on these days. Especially that old AI coming into play here. Pretty wild stuff. I was watching an interview of Tucker Carlson and Mike Rowe. Some of y'all know who Mike Rowe is. I'm sure a lot of y'all know who Tucker Carlson is. And they spoke about old AI and the problems that it's going to probably carry. I agree on some, but others I just can't say I agree with. You know? End of the day, I think it's going to help the blue collar fellers and ladies like ourselves. Because, I mean, how can you replace a blue collar person? A smarter blue collar person, at least I guess if you're stacking shelves, they can be easily replaced. But, you know, if you don't use your mind a little bit, you will be the guy that the AI people call. Truly believe that. I will say it'd be pretty cool to have a robot up in here doing this. Man. Okay, I've been around mills my whole life. I've seen everything from mills smaller as ours and mills 5 times as big with optimizers and all that fancy munjo jumbo crap. And man, I tell you, them optimizers are great. They ain't reading no log, not like the human eye. Y'all think AI can replace that? Think AI could read this log and tell me it's slap full of knots and wind shake? Send it on through? Big question. Disney World. Disney World a moment ago. I'll tell you, I've never seen so many little rabbit scooters. You know what I'm talking about, like your grandpap had back in '98. Grandmam's had one. Run over your ankles with them. I mean, they're everywhere out there. Everywhere. Why are so many out of shape people going to Disney World? I mean, I caught hell at that place. They wore me slap out. I mean, I was singing that Oliver Anthony. About the honey buns and whatever the hell he talked about, the fudge rounds. Never seen such out of shape people. They just chug around. They get on down. I don't know how they do it. I didn't like to kill them. The one for my little cheering, I don't know if I should have hung. It's crazy. Crazy world we live in. A little 6-incher out of that. A little 6-incher. Ooh. About screwed up. Get that flipped around. Hit that face. Get a 1-inch little can out of that. Sorry for in and out of conversation. You know, I am trying to produce a little bit of a paycheck today. Can't just spend the whole time talking to y'all. But I'll do my very best at it. Got an ugly old log right here. I'm gonna make a 4x4 out of that. As Hardy would say, that's what the 4x4 is for. A lot of buttons in here. Call me the button master. How are you guys doing? Working your ass off? Doing your part of society? It's crazy how hard a man has to work to stay in time. I'm making better money than I've ever made in my entire life right now. But I tell you, I am still broke as shit. You ever get tired of being broke? Working your soul to death, it seems like. Your kids are growing up. Your parents are getting old as shit. You know, maybe your grandkids are growing up, I don't know. But it just hauls ass. It goes by so fast. Killing yourself for a couple doll hairs. But I ain't no lazy man, so I just gotta keep on keeping on. You know, sometimes you just gotta hit them with that Joe Dirt. Life's a garden. Gotta dig it. Speaking of these hard times, it takes me back when I was a younger lad. You know, back when I was about 16. Man on the prowl. Chasing ass and kicking ass, you know what I'm saying? You know, the Friday night, got an old date, you got about, I don't know, 40 doll hairs in your pocket, you're feeling good about yourself, right? Hell, you might even go out to the Red Lobster and still have enough for a $15 tip looking like a big shot. You ain't doing that now. And what do you, younger cats, where do you take girls on dates these days? I mean, where can you take a female on a date when you're not making jack shit of money? You got about 50 bucks to spend on a date. Where do you go? Has Zaxby's turned into the new Red Lobster? Is that what's going on here? I mean, hell, I went to McDonald's the other night. Got me, my wife, my two cheering. Got them a couple Happy Meals, you know, they're get all happy and whatnot. Got myself a Big Mac. Wife, she got her some kind of fancy McDonald's meal. She's a real fancy lady. I love her to death. And I spent $50. $50. How does that happen? How have we gotten so screwed up that it costs a family anywhere from $30 to $50 to eat at McDonald's? Absolutely blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. Scary times. Scary, scary times. Just got to keep on keeping on. We're going to get us 8 bait out of this. We're going to try to squeeze it. It will be tight. There might be a little bit of live edge on her. Might not. It's going to be tight though. This thing is busted up all in the center. I don't know if your camera's going to get a good view of that, but she is busted through and through. So that means I can't make no 3 baits. I can't even make a 6x6 out of it because then it's just going to be a cold 6x6. Right now we're looking good. I'm not seeing no wind shake coming through. So this should make myself a nice number 2 8 of the 8 bait. Yep, it's going to be nice. That's money, dude. Money, 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 money. Lumber market's screwed up. Some of y'all know that. Some of y'all have no clue. You just like watching some Sawmill videos. Well, I'm here to tell you, it's shit. It is shit. There's only one thing that keeps us going in shit times. That is 8 baits and 3-inch lumber. So when the lumber market goes to shit, cut a bunch of 3-inch lumber and a bunch of 8x. Reason being is all this 3-inch lumber is going to go overseas where it's a lot harder to get lumber. About to get 10 by 10 out of this. Oh, 16. I'm going to get an 8x out of this. Get a 2-inch slab. Or he talked lumber market. Lumber market shit. Sell a lot of lumber overseas. Because it don't really affect them too much because they're overseas on the islands, you know. The island boys over there. They just ain't got pine hanging around over there. So they kind of they're stuck behind the 8 ball. You know. It's shitty for them, but good for me. Keeps us going. We've had a lot of big mills close to us, 2-inch mills. That's all they cut. It really does. They do produce really shitty lumber. Think about it. You're taking a log, you're cutting the whole damn log into 2-inch lumber. So everything in the center is shit. And you got a little bit of good 2-inch lumber coming off the sides. So you got a bunch of number 3 and a bunch of number 2. They just can't survive like that, especially hard times. And a lot of these bigger mills are just so rich, owned by such big corporations. Shutting down $100 million mill just really is not shit to them. They got 20 more of them, right? What's 100 million to them cocksuckers, right? And you see all these guys and working at that mill their whole life. No job. Damn shame is what it is. Damn shame. They flood the market with their shit lumber and they screw it for everybody. Just screw it for everybody. Survivor's game. You can see this. I'll back up. That thing has got 3 knots right in the center of it. An attempt to get a 10 by 10 12 out of this, but we will see if that works out. If not, I will cut it down to an 8x. 10 by 10s do not quite sell as good as an 8x, but they still bring a little cash flow, you know. Let's see if this thing, let's see if we can get 10 by 10. I'm gonna cut a little slab off that. Now I'll get a 1-inch cant. Send that to my little gang or a little edger, whatever you prefer to call it. Definitely get 10 by 10 out of this. Definitely will get a 10 by 10 out of this. Even with the knots, this is still considered a number 2 10 by 10. Why do you keep saying number 2? What do all these numbers mean? What do these numbers mean you are saying? I'll tell you, lumber is rated across the board. You got number 1, same thing as a number 2 as far as I'm concerned. And you got number 3. Obviously, number 1, number 2 sells for top price. Number 3 sells for shit. It's pretty simple to figure that out. About everything you see at Home Depot, it says number 2, my friends, I tell you, it's number 3. They get by with it, but not by my standards. Come on, baby. If you are near a local mill, I always recommend buying from them guys. You know why? Because they're sawmillers. True-blooded, daggum sawmillers. I watch this one guy on YouTube. He's sawmilling Mark of the Garlics. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that last name right. Him and a couple other older fellers, and they are just bad to the bone. You know what I mean? I really enjoy watching them guys. If you haven't, if you're a sawmill watcher, I definitely recommend checking them out. Dime breed. Who are they going to teach, you know? Them guys got younger people they teach and carrying this tradition, or is it just gone when they're gone? What's the future of sawmilling? You know, with AI. Talked about that a moment ago. How is AI going to affect sawmilling? Probably won't affect me or you too much. Damn sure ain't going to affect me because, you know, I can't afford it. But luckily my 7 generations prior to me has always saved that knowledge. Teach me and the following generations like I hope to do myself, so I won't hopefully never need any sort of technology in here. I mean, would you want to have to rely on technology? Does anybody truly want to have to rely on technology? It's crazy, man. I remember being a kid seeing a flip phone for the first time. That was just wild to me. I remember being on vacation thinking, man, it's a long ass drive here. Well, it'd be nice to have some sort of screen I could watch my shit on, you know, play some games or something. And now they just got things called a tablet. In a short period of time, you're talking 20 years. Look how far technology has came. Make a 6x6 out of this, send it to the game. You see I'm throwing these little slabs off. The only reason I'm doing that is I'm trying not to back up my line bar resaw. He's got a lot coming from the scrag, so anytime I can board it on the carriage, I like to board it on the carriage. On the old hurdle carriage. Badass carriage. Especially bang for your buck. Always seeing people on the book looking for hurdle carriage operators. They're looking wrong. They're looking wrong. Anybody can learn to run a carriage. What they're failing to understand is not many people can read a log. You know, it's just such a weird thing. How can you look at a log and say, what is going to be my best yield? What of this log can I cut to make the most jaw hairs? I'm going to flip this one up. This borderline, you see that little bit of wind shake by that front dog there. Bust it up a little bit, but it'll still make me a good 8x8. Compared to the normal person, that's just pretty, you know? That's just pretty. Don't have a clue. So yeah, even if you can find someone running a carriage, are they really running it? Do they know what the heck they're cutting? Dying trade. Got something going on here. Big timber deck must be kind of up. Evidently we got it. Evidently we got it. Losing track of conversation here. How are y'all doing? Everybody have a good Easter? I know I did. Watched a thing on Netflix over the week while I was at the Disney when I couldn't sleep at night. My mind was on sawmilling or race cars or a good-looking old lady. I don't know. It was on all kind of crazy stuff. But I found this thing on Netflix talking about Moses. The story of Moses. Biblical, true character. And I never really understood the story of Moses till I kind of watched that. Crazy story. Definitely watch it. Especially if you're a man, young man, confused on, I'm going to send that make 3 baits. What you're going to do in life, what's your purpose? I don't think any of us ever really know our true purpose very early. Some of us get luckier than others. Man, it's a very good story. Definitely check it out. If you don't know your purpose, don't look for it, you know. It'll come. I'm just a stupid redneck from Florida. And all of a sudden, I'm doing a little bit of YouTube stuff. Who the hell would ever thought that? I barely know how to use a computer. You never know what your purpose might be or things that make you happy. You'll find it. Really, the main thing is, if you've got a family, that should be one of your main purposes. Get right across, maybe, you know. I recommend it. I'm trying hard. Man, I do a lot of sinning. A lot of sinning. Do a lot of hell raising. Do a lot of cussing. Defile my body every day. Got me a Zentini in right now. Never read about that in the New Testament. But you know. Keep on keeping on. Pretty looking log right here. Make some 3x6s all that, but I'm not going to back up my line bar resaw. I've got a little cocky on my slabs. About backed up, so we will board this. And then we'll make another board off the other side. Sawmilling is almost like I guess it is, just a big ass machine, and you ain't doing it right, your machine ain't gonna run worth a shit. You'll work your people to death, they're not gonna be in a happy place, and you're gonna wear your shit out. Running any sort of business, you've really got to be careful how you handle situations, and especially, most importantly, how you handle your people. These are the people putting bread and butter on your table. The reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do. My dad always taught me that. As a child, he brought me out to the mill. I always felt it was very important for me to be around these men. I believe that has almost defined the man I have turned into today. One, never look down on anybody, because at the end of the day, you're not shit either. Neither am I. And for two, they're working for you. You know, straight up, they chose to work for you. All the jobs in the world, they chose to come to some greasy ass sawmill to help your operation. My family has been blessed. So blessed. We've been sawmilling over 100 years, but Tatum Brothers itself got established in 1930. It's crazy how long this thing has gone, you know. I'm sure there's other of you that's got family businesses. It's a tough life. Even as a child, you know, people see you with a family business, they look at you a little different, you know. Look at you a little bit different. Don't respect you. Your respect's a little bit harder to earn because you're just a spoiled ass, punk ass kid that has a family business. That ain't always the case. No matter how successful you get, you've got to teach the next generation, right from wrong. You got to teach them to work. This is busted up, so we're going to make this a 10x10 of this. Got to teach them to work, how to talk to others, respect people. You shut your mouth and listen more than you talk. You'll learn something. Lord, these times have changed. These times have changed. Let's see here. Get that fat edge off the side here. When I was a young lad, I was racing go-karts for a guy. Very successful guy at that. Built bridges, I mean, just did all kind of crazy shit, right? There's one thing he said to me that stuck with me. And this is honestly one thing that my father kind of lacks at. He won't admit it, but you know, each their own. That is, you always got to listen to the younger generation. You never get so freaking caught up in your stuff that you think your way is the only way. That's not the case. A younger person's keeping up with the times. A younger person is keeping up with what's flowing and what's going. Some young people. Dude, that's ugly. So chances are, there's something they might be able to teach you. Maybe you didn't think about. Maybe it'll be beneficial to you. And maybe that one idea will change your whole family's future. And all you have to do is listen. The older gentleman, you got a son, daughter, don't be that guy, you know. You raised them, they ought to have a little bit of sense, right? All you got to do is listen to what they're saying. Now, 90% of it is going to be shit. There's always that 1%, 10% that might not be shit. It might be worth knowing, might be worth having in your artillery, you know? Always take the time to listen. You're not God. You know, you can still learn. You don't know it all. You hard-headed old scoundrel, you. You got to teach them. It's one thing I can do for my children is I want to teach them something. Teach them how to survive, as Hank Williams Jr. said. A country folk can survive. You got that skill, you got everything. Yeah, it's hard to talk, not gonna lie. A lot of shit goes on in this old carriage cab. Especially a lot of thinking. A lot of button pushing. Gotta push them buttons. Gotten pretty good at pushing buttons. Ask my dad, ask my wife. I'm pretty good at it. I can push a button. Watch this. Watch how I push this button. Pushed it. Nothing. Y'all think I'm crazy. What we got here? We got a 20-footer. That is almost big enough for an 8x8. It's not. I think I can get 3x8s out of this. What do y'all think? Shit. I just fucked up. See if these boys can send her back on there. Well, help him get that fucking can on there. Well, I get for talking and jawing too much. This 6. It's a 6-inch can. Just send it through. Send it through. Yeah, it should be 6. Send it through. I fucked up and sent something that's supposed to go to my big game to my little game. It'll feed it, but it ain't the best for it. Just make sure that's going to get through. Sorry, fellas. Trying to do some YouTube in here, guys. They got her going. I got a good crew here, man. Bring a box of donuts or something tomorrow. Press the wrong button, it happens. Goes back to having a good crew. You ain't got to go out there and think for them. They know what you fucked up. They usually know how to keep you back going. All good. That's an ugly log right here. It'll make me a 6x6. Make me an old 6x6. I get a 3x6 out of that. Or 4x6. Dealer's choice at the game. And a nice 1x4 off one side. This thing got a little crook. Now my demarker guy here, he should have probably brought this down to a 16. A little busted on the center. So I can't get 3x8. We will make 6x6. And he'll cut the crook out of it at the gang itself. You can tell there's always a lot going on in here. I either just hit a knot, almost sounded like a nail. I don't have my metal detector up and running. And I got a guy there, but my metal detector is absolutely shot. Sometimes you catch a nail. And usually when you catch one, though, it's followed by about a dozen more. Get some logs off a fence line or something like that. Be like that sometimes. We'll eventually get the metal detector back in. A little 3x6 action out of this. Send it on to the islands. Overseas. See you later, alligator. Wonderful day here in Florida. The weather is great today. The pollen is not here. It's not cold. It ain't hot. It's just a beautiful time of the year. No complaints. No complaints today. Yesterday, on the other hand, whew, I had a hell of a day yesterday. I mean, if something could break, it broke. Hate days like that. This log is slapped full of wind shake. See it bleeding out the top. So it will not be a number 2, but I don't call it a number 2, but I guess the market would call it a number 2. Lumber market's a weird thing. It just blows my mind. I have seen just this year alone in a 100-mile radius of where I live, I have seen 2 different sawmills shut down, and both of them were purchased a couple of years ago for well over $100 million. That blows my mind. How does that happen? This next election is going to be huge. I don't give a damn what side you're on. I really don't give a shit. Give a shit if you're for Trump. I don't give a shit if you're for Biden or Kennedy or maybe that idiot Ramaswamy. I like him. I mean, I think Trump is going to come down to Trump and Biden. But you can't tell me that you cannot see just how shitty of a situation this country is in right now. Like, anything could be better than this. This is absolutely wild. Don't you miss those old shopping days? Go to Walmart, get a grocery full of shit, $250. Yeah, that's went up to about $500 now. So I'm making more money I have ever in my whole life. But I am broker than I've probably ever been to. More broke as far as financially goes. Not broke in life, I guess. My family's all here. I still got to work. That's a blessing. Man, times are hard. It's crazy, dude. I hate all this. Gotta tighten up a little bit. My guys are looking at me like, what are you doing, dude? This is embarrassing. Let me speed it up for y'all a little bit. Something broke? Or is my chipper clogged up? Got my man Donald down there. He's one of the higher up people here. He's a smart fella. Him and his brother Norman both work here. I'll introduce y'all to them someday soon. My man Donald, though, dude, he does good work. He's always watching. Always watching. Well, that's going to shut us down for today. That is going to shut us down for lunch. If you haven't already, hit that like, hit that subscribe, drop a comment. What do you want to see? You want to see more of this stuff? And as always, I sure do appreciate y'all. God bless and peace.